So inshallah, now we will learn about the attributes of the angels. The angels, they possess a lot of humility. They're very humble servants of Allah and also very obedient servants of Allah. And how is that humility reflected? In a hadith we learn that when it is Friday, the angels, they stand at the doors of the masjid. And they write the names of the people who are coming in. But once the imam comes in order to give the khutbah, then the angels, they close their registers and حَضَرَتِ الْمَلَائِكَةِ يَسْتَمِعُونَ الذِّكْرِ. They come and they listen to the dhikr. Meaning they come and they listen to the khutbah. Do the angels really need to learn all that knowledge? Don't they already know a lot? I'm sure they do. Right? Because obviously they're very close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But yet we see that humility, that once the khutbah begins, they leave everything and they go in order to listen to the khutbah. Unfortunately, it happens with us many times that we think that, I know already, alhamdulillah, I know enough, so I don't really need to take this particular class or that particular course. We underestimate this fact that we need to keep learning more and more. A humble heart always realizes that there's more to learn, more to benefit from. So the angels, once the khutbah begins, they leave everything and they go in order to listen to the dhikr. We learn about their humility from many instances. For example, we learned that once the Prophet ﷺ, he said that when he went for Mi'raj, for the night journey, and he led all the prophets in prayer, right after the prayer, when he said the salam, Jibreel came to him. And he said, this with me is the angel who is the keeper of the hellfire, Khazinun Nar. He is Malik, so please greet him, please meet him. So the Prophet ﷺ turned towards him in order to greet him, but the Prophet ﷺ said, he said salam to me first. He said salam to me first. Meaning before I could say salam to me, he said salam to me. Then we also learn in another hadith that the Prophet ﷺ, he said, on the day of judgment, huge scales will be placed. Huge scales in order to weigh the deeds of people. And they will be so huge that even the sky and the earth could be weighed in them. This is a hadith in As-Silsilatul Sahihah. The angels will ask, oh Allah, what will the scale weigh? Meaning, what will you put in the scale? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will say, whoever I wish from my creation. Meaning, I will weigh the deeds of whosoever I wish from amongst my creation. And the angels will say, Subhanaka ma abadnaka haqqa ibadatik. That even if these scales are filled with good deeds, we have not fulfilled the right of worshipping you. We have not worshipped you the way you deserve to be worshipped. Who's saying this? The angels. Whose every action is an action of obedience to Allah. This is what they will say. Then the sirat will be placed. Meaning the bridge over which people are going to cross, that will be placed. The angels will ask, oh Allah, who will you make to cross this? Which creation of yours, which people will you allow to cross this bridge and reach Jannah, go to the other side? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will say, whosoever I wish from amongst my creation. And the angels will say, Subhanaka ma abadnaka haqqa ibadatik. We have not worshipped you the way you deserve to be worshipped. Because remember that the sirat, this bridge, is placed over the hellfire. So even if everyone falls in it, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala still deserves praise. They will say, we have not worshipped you the way you deserve to be worshipped. The angels are modest. They're shy. The angels, they possess knowledge. They're eager to learn more. And they're very organized and disciplined also. And this organization, this discipline, we learn from where? From their rows. From their sufuf. وَالصَّافَّاتِ صَفًّا. By those who stand in rows. In a hadith we learned the Prophet ﷺ said to his companions, why do you not form your rows as the angels form their rows before their Lord? The companion said, O Messenger of Allah ﷺ, how do the angels form their rows before Allah? He said, they complete the rows and do not leave any gaps. They do not leave any gaps. Rather, what do? They complete the rows. In another version we learn, they complete the front rows first and stand together as if they were a well-compacted wall. As if they were a strong wall. There's no cracks in the middle. No holes in the middle. So the Prophet ﷺ encouraged us to do the same thing. So if any time where we're sitting, so for example in a gathering, or at the masjid, you see a gap next to you, what's the best way? Fill it up. How? Move closer to the person who is next to you. Because you know who comes in these gaps? Shaitan. And he says, you're so tired. And then there comes one yawn. And then you start thinking about something else. Alright? So it happens in prayer also. So what is necessary? That we fill in the gaps, just like the angels do. The Prophet ﷺ encouraged us to do the same thing. Then the angels are very righteous servants of Allah. They're infallible in the sense that they don't sin at all. And they possess great fear of Allah also. They're afraid of Allah. Despite their closeness and nearness, they fear Allah. وَهُمْ مِنْ خَشْيَتِهِ مُشْفِقُونَ. They're afraid of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. يَخَافُونَ رَبَّهُمْ مِنْ فَوْقِهِمْ. They're afraid. They fear their Lord above them. And they do whatever they are commanded. We learn that the Prophet ﷺ, he said, on the night on which I was taken on the night journey, I passed by the hosts on high. Meaning, the angels that are up there, I saw them. I passed by them. And the Prophet ﷺ also saw Jibreel. In one narration, we learned that he saw Jibreel in a very beautiful form, which I mentioned to you earlier. That was perhaps at one point. But at another point, when the Prophet ﷺ went up to the heavens, and that meant that closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he said that I saw Jibreel like a worn mat from the fear of Allah. You know, like something shrivels and shrinks and goes pale, loses color, its vibrance. So Jibreel, how was he? Like a worn mat out of the fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In Musnad Ahmad we learn there is no muqarrab angel, an angel that is near to Allah. Imagine the carriers of the throne. The angels who go and talk to Allah, report to Him directly, praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala right before Him, form roles before their Lord. There is no muqarrab angel, nor any sky or earth, nor any mountain or rock, except that it is afraid on the day of Friday. Why is it afraid on the day of Friday? Why are the angels afraid? Because the day of judgment is supposed to come on the day of Friday. So they become more fearful on Friday. They possess great fear of Allah. And they're also very eager to do good. You see, what happens with us is that fear, it paralyzes us sometimes. We're so afraid, we're like, I'm going to make a mistake, so I might as well not do it. I might as well not do it. Like for instance, sometimes we're so afraid of reciting the Quran because we're going to make mistakes that we choose not to recite the Quran. And we wait for that perfect teacher whom we're going to find one day, who's going to teach us how to recite the Quran. And that teacher we've never been able to find yet, and we keep hoping that someday we'll find them. And because of that, what we do is we don't even open the Quran and read it. So what is necessary? That this fear should be there, and this fear should drive us. It should motivate us, not stop us. It should motivate us to do something. So the angels, they're very afraid of Allah, but at the same time, they're very eager to obey Him. They're very eager to do good. In a hadith, we learn that once the people were praying behind the Prophet ﷺ, and when he raised his head from ruku', he said, "Sami' Allahu liman hamida." And one of the men who was praying behind him, he said, "Rabbana lakal hamd." Oh Allah, all praises to you. It just came out, just naturally. He heard the Prophet ﷺ say, "Sami' Allahu liman hamida," and just naturally these words of praise came out of his mouth. Rabbana lakal hamd. Hamdan kathiran tayyiban mubarakan fi. After the salah, the Prophet ﷺ asked, who said those words? And that man, he said, I did. And you can imagine, maybe he was afraid that I'm going to get into trouble. So anyway, the Prophet ﷺ said, I saw more than 30 angels rushing with one another in order to record the reward of those words first. They wanted to be the first ones to record those words. 30 angels, imagine, rushing to record that. We also learned that they're so eager to do good that when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created Adam a.s., He told Adam to go and greet the angels. And Allah told Adam to greet the angels by saying, Assalamu alaikum. So Adam alayhi salam went to the angels and said, Assalamu alaikum. And the angels, they said, Wa alaikum assalam wa assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. They added, wa rahmatullah. Allah's peace be on you and also Allah's mercy be on you. They're eager to do good. They excel in righteousness. Now the angels, they perform many roles. They perform many actions. All of the angels, they worship Allah. And remember that any action that they're doing, what are they doing in reality? Worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because they're obeying Him. But besides these acts of obedience, they also worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through ritual acts of worship. Like for example, the angels, they do tasbih. They say Subhanallah, Subhanallahi wa bihamdihi. In Surah Al-Shu'ara, ayah number 5, وَالْمَلَائِكَةُ يُسَبِّحُونَ بِحَمْدِ رَبِّهِمْ. The angels, they're glorifying their Lord. In Surah Al-Anbiya, ayah 20, we learn يُسَبِّحُونَ اللَّيْلَ وَالنَّهَارِ لَا يَفْتُرُونَ. The angels, they're constantly doing tasbih of Allah, day and night. Night and day, non-stop, continuously, without taking a break. They never stop. The Prophet ﷺ, he was asked that which speech is the best? And he said, that which Allah has chosen for His servants, meaning the angels. And what is that? Subhanallahi wa bihamdihi. And sometimes, if you find yourself just quiet, silent, nobody to talk to, you send a text message to someone, no answer. You call somebody, no answer. You Skype somebody, no answer. And you're at home and there are kids with you and you can't really have an intellectual conversation with them. Does it ever happen? It happens with many women. But all day you're just talking to children and then you can't, and then you need somebody to talk to. You just need somebody to express your feelings before, somebody who'll understand. The best speech, that's necessary and that should be done. But when you don't have that chance of talking to anybody, then instead of being sad, what should we do? Subhanallahi wa bihamdihi. Subhanallahi wa bihamdihi. Subhanallahi al-azim. It is the best speech. The angels, they also perform the prayer. They also perform salah. They also perform hajj and tawaf. Where? At Baytul Ma'mur. In the Quran we learn Surah Al-Tur, ayah 4, Wal Baytul Ma'mur, the inhabited house, meaning where the angels are constantly coming, prostrating to Allah, doing sajda, doing ruku, or doing tawaf, worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala over there. Now the angels, they worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and they also have a special role to play in the lives of believers. In the lives of the believers. How? First of all, they love the believers and they want the best for those who believe. In Hadith we learned the Prophet ﷺ said, he who follows a path in quest of knowledge, Allah will make the path of Jannah easy for him. The angels lower their wings for the seeker of knowledge because they love him. Ridwan, being happy because of what that person is doing. So the angels, they love the believers, but more importantly, they love who? Those who go out in search of knowledge. What do the angels do? They lower their wings. What is meant by that? The scholars said two things. One is that if the angel is somewhere up in the skies and he sees a student of knowledge walking, the angel comes down to the earth. He comes down to the earth. And the other meaning is that they spread their wings. So the person is not walking on the ground, rather he's stepping his feet where? On the wings of the angels. This is how much they love the student of knowledge. In another hadith we learn that when a person, he says salam, this is a hadith in Adab al-Mufrad, that when a person says salam to another Muslim, and that person is upset with him, so he doesn't answer his greeting. Does it happen ever? You meet somebody, you smile at them, they look away. You say salam to them and they pretend as if they didn't hear you. Then you know who responds to the greeting? An angel. The angel responds to the greeting. And the person who didn't respond to the greeting, who is he greeted by? A shaitan. A shaitan. There's a hadith in Al-Adab al-Mufrad. Then we see that the angels, they also pray for the believers and they seek forgiveness for the believers. They send blessings on the Prophet ﷺ. إِنَّ اللَّهَ وَمَلَائِكَتَهُ يُصَلُّونَ عَلَى النَّبِيِّ. But not just the Prophet ﷺ, but also the believers. In Surah Al-Ahzab, ayah 43, we learn, هُوَ الَّذِي يُصَلِّي عَلَيْكُمْ وَمَلَائِكَتُهُ. Allah sends His blessings on you, and also the angels pray for you. And this is elaborated in a hadith in which we learn about how when a person leaves this world, when his soul is taken by the angels, if it's a righteous soul, then it's taken up into the skies, right? The journey to the heavens. And when the angels are taking that righteous soul, then all the angels who see this person's soul, who meet the soul, they say, Sallallahu alayki. May Allah bless you. They welcome that soul. They give him the good news of reward. And they also say, Sallallahu alayki. May Allah bless you. Wa ala jasadin kunti ta'murinahu. And also the body which you used to inhabit. May Allah bless you and the body that you've left behind. They pray for the person at that time. And also, in Surah Ghafir, ayah 7 to 9, we learn, الَّذِينَ يَحْمِلُونَ الْعَرْشَ وَمَنْ حَوْلَهُ يُسَبِّحُونَ بِحَمْدِ رَبِّهِمْ. That the angels that carry the throne of Allah and the angels that are around that area, they all glorify their Lord. وَيُؤْمِنُونَ بِهِ. And they also believe in Him. And وَيَسْتَغْفِرُونَ لِلَّذِينَ آمَنُوا. Imagine those angels that are so close to Allah. What are they doing? Seeking forgiveness for those who believe. Seeking forgiveness for the believers. If you find out that somebody's been making a lot of dua for you, how do you feel? So grateful. Thank you so much for remembering me in your prayers. I really appreciate that. Right? Now imagine the angels that are close to Allah, what are they doing? Seeking forgiveness for the believers. وَيَسْتَغْفِرُونَ لِلَّذِينَ آمَنُوا. That, Ya Allah, please forgive them. Please forgive that servant of yours. They say, رَبَّنَا وَسِعْتَ كُلَّ شَيْءٍ رَحْمَةً وَعِلْمًا. Oh Allah, you encompass everything with your mercy and knowledge. فَاغْفِرْ لِلَّذِينَ تَابُوا. So please forgive those who repent. وَاتَّبَعُوا سَبِيلَكَ. And those who follow your way. وَقِهِمْ عَذَابَ الْجَحِيمِ. And save them from the punishment of the hellfire. رَبَّنَا وَأَدْخِلْهُمْ جَنَّاتٍ. Oh our Lord, admit them into Jannah. Imagine those angels, they're praying, oh Allah, please admit the believers into Jannah. الَّتِي وَعَدْتَهُمْ. Which you have promised them. وَمَنْ صَلَحَ مِنْ آبَائِهِمْ. And also admit their fathers, those who are righteous. وَأَزْوَاجِهِمْ. And their spouses. وَذُرِّيَّاتِهِمْ. And their children. إِنَّكَ أَنْتَ الْعَزِيزُ الْحَكِيمُ. And they say, وَقِهِمُ السَّيِّئَاتِ. Oh Allah, protect them from sayyi'at. What are sayyi'at? Two things. Evil, meaning sins, evil actions. Oh Allah, protect them. And also evil consequences, meaning punishment. Oh Allah, protect them. They've sinned, they've disobeyed, but please forgive them. وَقِهِمُ السَّيِّئَاتِ يَوْمَئِذٍ. Which day? On the last day. وَقِهِمُ السَّيِّئَاتِ وَمَنْ تَقِ السَّيِّئَاتِ يَوْمَئِذٍ فَقَدْ رَحِمْتَهُ. Whoever you save from evil on that day, then you have been merciful towards him. وَذَلِكَ هُوَ الْفَوْزُ الْعَظِيمُ. We also learn in Surah Shura, ayah 5, that تَكَادُ السَّمَاوَاتُ يَتَفَطَّرْنَ مِنْ فَوْقِهِمْ. The heavens would rupture. They would break asunder. Why? Out of the fear of Allah. وَالْمَلَائِكَةُ. And the angels, what are they doing? يُسَبِّحُونَ بِحَمْدِ رَبِّهِمْ. They're glorifying Allah. وَيَسْتَغْفِرُونَ لِمَنْ فِي الْأَرْضِ. And they're seeking forgiveness for those who are on the earth. That, Ya Allah, please forgive them. They're begging Allah to forgive us. What did we ever do to the angels that they pray for us? What did we ever do? Nothing. So why is it that they care for the believers so much? Because of their Iman. Iman makes you love the people of Iman. If you have Iman, you will love the person who has Iman. Then even though there is no relationship between the two of you in the sense that no blood relationship, nothing at all, but still there will be a bond of brotherhood. Why? Because of Iman. And that bond will bring feelings of well-wishing and sincerity that you will want the best for them. They also pray for those who wait for salah. The angels pray for people who wait for salah and those who remain after salah. Meaning who engage in the worship of Allah after prayer. In a hadith in Bukhari, we learn the angels pray for every one of you as long as you remain in the place in which you prayed and do not break wudu. Meaning after salah, when you're sitting, and even if you sit for 15 minutes, you don't break your wudu, what's happening? The angels are making dua for you. What? Allahumma ghfir lahu, Allahumma arhamhu. Oh Allah, please forgive him. Oh Allah, have mercy on him. But what happens typically? Right after salam, we remember, I have to do that, I have to do that. So we're just waiting to the salam and get up and rush. So what should we do now? Just wait for those few minutes and let the angels make dua for you. The angels also pray for those who stand in the first row. The angels make dua for those who stand in the first row. The Prophet ﷺ said, Allah and His angels send blessings on the first rows. The angels make dua for those who complete the rows. So if there's a gap, and you go forward and fill in that gap, the angels will make dua for you. Allah and His angels send blessings on those who complete the rows. And whoever fills a gap, Allah will raise his status because of it. The angels pray for those who visit the sick. Those who visit the sick. In a hadith we learned, whoever comes to his Muslim brother and visits him, he is walking among the harvest of paradise until he sits down. And when he sits down, he is covered with mercy. If it is morning, 70,000 angels will send blessings upon him until it is evening. And if it is the evening, then 70,000 angels will send blessings upon him until morning. The angels also make dua for the person who sleeps in wudu. Who sleeps in wudu, meaning he had wudu when he went to bed. In a hadith which is authenticated by Albani, recorded in As-Silsilatu Sahihah, the Prophet ﷺ said, whoever sleeps in the state of wudu, an angel spends the night with him. Imagine, an angel spends a night with him. And whenever he wakes up, in any hour of the night, and sometimes it happens that you have, very disturbed sleep. Every couple of hours or every hour or so you're waking up. So whenever he wakes up, in any hour of the night, the angel says, Oh Allah, forgive your servant, for he spent the night tahir. He spent the night in a state of tahara, so please forgive him. When a person makes dua for his Muslim brother or sister, then the angels, they make dua for him, the same dua, and same be for you. The angels also help the believers. They help them, they assist them, they guide them. In a hadith we learn that the Prophet ﷺ said, there is no person except that in his head is wisdom, hikmah. And where is that hikmah? In the hand of an angel. Okay? Whenever that person is humble, the angel is told, increase his hikmah. Increase his wisdom. And whenever the person is arrogant, the angel is told, reduce his hikmah. This is also a hadith that is authenticated by Albani according to As-Silsilatu Sahihah. When a person is humble, the angel assists him, shows him how to be wise, increases his wisdom. And this is why we see that Hassan bin Thabit, the companion of the Prophet ﷺ, when he stood in order to say verses of poetry in defense of the Prophet ﷺ, he prayed for him, Allahumma ayyidhu bi ruhil qudus. That, oh Allah, help him with the ruhil qudus, meaning with the angel Jibreel. The angels also help a person in times of difficulty. That when a person is, let's say, in a fight, in an argument, then if a person is patient, the angels help him, they assist him, and they also make dua for him. In a hadith we learned that two men, they argued in the presence of the Prophet ﷺ. One of them, he was continuously reviling and abusing his brother. And the other just kept responding by saying, Alayka salam, on you be peace, Alayka salam. So what happened? The Prophet ﷺ, he said, between the two of you is an angel. Whenever he says something bad to you, meaning this one person is saying something bad to his brother, the angel defends the latter. Okay, the angel defends him and says to the former, you are more deserving of what you say. And when the latter says, Alayka salam, then the angel says to him, no, on you be peace. Don't say peace be on you be peace, because you are being patient. You are more deserving of it. It happens many times in an argument, you want to say something and you just hold yourself back, you bite your tongue. It's very difficult to bite your tongue at that time. But remember, that when you bite your tongue at that time and you hold yourself back, you control yourself, the angels are present there, inshallah, praying for you and supporting you, helping you. Which is why remember that the time when Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, he was being abused by somebody and he was silent, and the Prophet ﷺ, he was there just smiling. And when Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu said something, the Prophet ﷺ left. Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu was surprised. What happened? What did he say? That until you were silent, there was an angel appointed to defend you. But when you spoke, then the devil came. Right? And I'm not going to be where the devil is. Then we see that the angels also protect and preserve who? Believers. People in general, but also those who seek the protection of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In a hadith we learned, it is in a Tirmidhi, also Hasan hadith, in which we learned that the Prophet ﷺ said, whoever says, لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد يحيي ويميت وهو على كل شيء قدير 10 times. When? After Maghrib. Do you know this dhikr? لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد يحيي ويميت وهو على كل شيء قدير. How many times? 10 times after Maghrib. Then Allah will send for him protectors. And the word in Arabic is maslahatan, meaning angels that are equipped with weapons, guards. Why? In order to guard him from shaitan until the morning. And Allah writes for him 10 good deeds, and his 10 sins are erased. Meaning there's a lot of reward for this. But one of the benefits is, angels are sent with weapons. Imagine, guards to protect a person. Then we also see that the angels, they also mark the attendance of people when they're doing something good. We learn from a hadith that angels are appointed in the morning and in the evening, right? And what happens? At the end of the morning, the angels, they take the report to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And at the end of the evening, they take the report to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah asks them that, how did you find my servants? How did you leave them? And the angels say that we came to them when they were praying and we left them when they were praying. Referring to Fajr and Asr prayer. But there's another hadith in which we learn that the Prophet ﷺ said that there are some people who are awtad of the masjid. What are awtad? Awtad. The mountains are like awtad, pegs. Meaning, you'll always find them in the masjid. You'll always find them in the masjid. They regularly come. So what happens? The angels also, they recognize them. So, the Prophet ﷺ said, the angels are their julasa. Meaning the angels are their companions. They witness their good deeds. They record them and they go tell Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They surround them basically. The angels surround such people. And if these people are missing, the angels look for them. Where is this person? How come he's not here today? How come she's not here today? Because they have to mark their attendance, right? They're like, where is this person? They look for them. And if they're sick, they go to visit them. If a person was sick, not able to come to the masjid, and the angels, they go to visit. The person doesn't know. He can't see, but the angels come to visit him. And if they're in some need, they help them. If they are in some need, the angels also help them. This is also a hadith that is authenticated by Albani. It is recorded in As-Silsilatu Sahihah. The angels love to listen to dhikr. They love to listen to recitation. Meaning when a person is remembering Allah, worshipping Allah, reciting the Quran, the angels love to listen to that. And there's many a hadith in which we learn about how a companion was reciting the Quran and his horse got startled, and later on he was informed that was the angels. The angels also call to good. They encourage people to do good, but they also call to good. In a hadith we learned that no day comes but 2 angels come down to the earth in the morning. One of them says, "O Allah, compensate the one who spends for your sake." And the other says, "O Allah, destroy the one who withholds from spending for your sake." The one who spends in your way, O Allah, compensate him. Give him more in return. Don't let him suffer. And the one who doesn't, who withholds, then you withhold for him, destroy him. The angels also attend the funerals of the righteous. Remember Sa'ad bin Mu'adh, when he passed away? We learned that 70,000 angels attended his funeral. 70,000 angels. But this will be when? When will this happen to a person? That the angels are present at his funeral. When a person remembers Allah, worships Allah, goes out in Allah's way, then the angels, they become his friends. They become his companions. And when they become his companions, then they are with him at the masjid and also outside and also at his funeral. Then we see that there are certain people, there are certain actions that the angels dislike, and they keep away from that. They don't like to go near it. And this is something important for us to know, because remember, the presence of the angels somewhere means Allah's mercy. Means that those angels are going to go and say positive words about us before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They're going to testify. They're going to bear witness to our good deeds. So we must know about the things which the angels dislike, because of which they don't come near a person, so that we can avoid them, because we want the angels to be close to us. In a hadith we learn that the Prophet ﷺ said that whoever points towards his brother with a weapon is cursed by the angels, even if it is his brother through his father and his mother. Sometimes it happens very innocently. We're holding a knife in our hands and we start threatening one another, just for fun. We don't really mean anything, just for fun. Or it's like a fork in our hands and we start, pointing it towards the other person, just out of fun. We don't really mean to hurt them. But this is something that we should avoid, because as long as a person is pointing towards his brother or sister, the angels are sending curse upon him. Also, we learned that when a person is arrogant, so for example, when a man calls his wife to his bed and she refuses to come, then the angels curse her until morning comes, or until she changes her mind. Because it's her pride, or whatever it is that's stopping her. I mean, if there's a genuine reason, that's a different case. But when it's a genuine, demand of the husband, a reasonable one, but yet the wife does not cooperate, then remember that the angels send curse upon this woman. Also, we learned that the people who innovate, who practice innovation, and who commit crimes in the city of the Prophet ﷺ, then the angels send curse on them. The Prophet ﷺ said that Medina is a sanctuary from this mountain to that mountain. And whoever innovates a heresy or commits a crime in Medina or gives shelter to such a person, may there be upon him the curse of Allah and the angels and all of mankind. And also, a person who slanders, abuses the companions of the Prophet ﷺ is cursed by the angels. The angels, they love certain people and they dislike certain people. They love certain things and they dislike certain things. What is it that they dislike? What is it that they don't like? They avoid certain smells. Imagine, the angels are offended by certain smells. And if that smell is present somewhere, the angels keep away. In Hadith we learn that whoever eats garlic, onions, or leeks, let him not come near our masjid. For the angels are offended by that which offends the sons of Adam. What about our Pakistani Indian cooking? That's full of garlic and ginger. This is referring to raw garlic or ginger, the smell of which remains in the mouth even after eating. But sometimes it happens at certain chutneys, right? They have garlic or ginger, or because we have been preparing food in our house and the windows have been closed, our jackets, they smell of food. I mean, a lot. A lot. So what happens is that when we go to the masjid and we stand next to a person, then what happens? They can smell that food. And imagine, if we are that person, we dislike it. The angels dislike it. They don't like the smell of such things. They keep away. The angels are offended by that which offends the children of Adam. Spitting. When a person spits, he should be careful. Where is he spitting? How is he sneezing? On what side is he blowing his nose? The Prophet ﷺ said, when any one of you stands up to pray, let him not spit to the front. Why? Because he is conversing with Allah, so long as he is praying. And it's very disrespectful that you're talking to somebody and you spit in their direction, or you cough in their direction, or you sneeze in their direction. And there is an angel standing to his right. So he should not spit on his right side either. What should he do? If he really has to, then he should do it on his left side, beneath his foot, and bury it. Now with us also, how can we apply this? That when we're sneezing, we're coughing, blowing our nose, be courteous towards the people who are around us and also towards the angels. Filth and impurity, the angels are disgusted by it and they keep away from it. In a hadith we learn, the Prophet ﷺ, he said, abstain from urinating in a bowl inside the house. Don't do that. Because the angels, do not enter a house in which is urine. In which is urine. They don't like it. They don't like najasa, filth. They keep away from it. So if we want the angels of mercy to come inside our house should be urine free. Now what does that mean? That when we're using the washroom, please flush the toilet. Right? Because some people, and many times it happens to children, they're not taught this from a young age. So they develop this bad habit. They don't bother to, get rid of that najasa. Also what is important is that when we have little children, many times we see that poor baby, the diaper is full to the point of leaking, literally. Somebody picks them up and their arm gets wet. So what is important? That if our baby has a wet diaper, try to clean it as soon as possible. Why? Because imagine, the angels don't like urine. You want your child to be protected by the angels. But if the child is covered in urine, right? Or his body is surrounded with urine, how is he going to be protected by the angels? How are the angels going to draw near to him? So it is necessary that we pay attention to this. Likewise, certain acts of disobedience, the angels are so disgusted by them that they keep away from the person who commits those actions. Or those certain sins, when they're performed in a particular place, the angels are so disgusted that they keep away. In a hadith we learn that the angels do not enter a house in which there is an image or a statue, a dog, alright? So what does this mean? In which there is an image or a statue? An idol that is worshipped? Not just that. Even pictures. Even sculptures. Whether they're made of crystal or whatever. The angels don't come there. But unfortunately sometimes we have these things right at the front of our house. So what is important? That we pay attention to this and replace them with more beautiful things. With other beautiful things. Even pictures, when they're in a place and the angels don't come. So sometimes it happens that on children's books or boxes, right, there's pictures. So what is necessary? That they are kept away. Remember Aisha radiallahu anha, she had dolls, right? She used to play with them, with her friends. And then when the Prophet ﷺ would come, her friends would go and hide and they would also put away those dolls. Why would they put them away? Because these are not things that should be displayed all the time. Alright? So, I'm not saying don't let your children play with toys or dolls or any books that have pictures in them. No, this is perfectly fine. But when they're done, they should be put away. Especially at night time, because you want the angels to come. You don't want that the angels don't come because of the presence of, a picture or something. I remember once I was visiting somewhere and this person is very, mashallah, knowledgeable. And there was, at Fajr time, I realized that they hadn't woken up, so I went to wake them up. And they said that I had this fear that I won't be able to wake up this morning for Fajr because I saw that, because it was somebody else's house, that I saw there were pictures. I had this feeling that I won't be able to wake up because of the pictures, the angels don't come. Right? The angels of mercy don't come. The angels who encourage you to do good, they are stopped. They don't come because of those pictures. So, this is very true. It happens. So, we should be very careful about this. Pictures, images, put them away so that angels of mercy can come. Also, we learned that the angels do not accompany a group with whom there is a dog or a bell. A bell. What's your ringtone like on your phone? Imagine a group of people who are walking and the camels or the horses, they have bells around them. So you constantly hear the ting, 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 ting. Right? So it happens with our phones, sometimes they're constantly buzzing. And every time they buzz, there's a sound of bells. Very musical. So let's replace that with something that is more beautiful. And there's so many options out there. Shazibaji's phone, what does it say? She has some ayat on it. And subhanallahi wa bihamdihi or subhanallahi al-azim. Every message that comes, you hear some dhikr. And it's so good. Because it reminds you to do dhikr. And also, you don't hear that music, right? Those musical tones. Also in a hadith we learn that the angels, they don't come near a person who is drunk. A person who is drunk, the angels don't come near him. And the body of a person who is perfumed with saffron. This is in particular with regards to men. Alright? they don't come near that person. And a person who is junub, meaning in the state of janaba. So the body of that person, the angels don't come near. Unless a person does wudu. So sometimes it happens that in the state of janaba, a person is not able to take a bath immediately. So what should a person do? At least make wudu. If the bath is going to be deferred, at least make wudu. The Prophet ﷺ, he was asked by Umar radiallahu anhu that can we sleep in the state of janaba? The Prophet ﷺ said, after wudu, do wudu. At least wudu. Because the angels don't come near the body of a person who is in the state of janaba. So we want that these servants of Allah who are muqarrab, who are honorable, who bring Allah's mercy, who testify before Allah to the good deeds of a person, to the good words of a person, we want that they surround us, they are with us. Because only when a person has the angels as his friends in this world, will these angels be his friends in the next world, in the grave, and also on the day of judgment, in the afterlife. We learn that in the hereafter, on the day of judgment, people will be driven. وَسِيقَ الَّذِينَ اتَّقَوْا إِلَى الْجَنَّةِ. That the people of Jannah will be driven to Jannah. And وَسِيقَ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا إِلَى جَهَنَّمَ زُمَرًا. The people of hellfire will be driven. What is it that will drive them? What is it that will drive them? It's their deeds and also the angels. So we want that the angels accompany us in the hereafter. They honor us. They're around us. You know, sometimes you see a person coming and with them there's a whole group of people respecting them out of love, out of admiration and support. So we want the same for us in the hereafter. But that's only going to be possible if we become the friends of the angels today. And how is it that we can befriend them? By worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because the angels worship Allah and they are drawn to that which Allah loves. In a hadith we learned that when a person stands in prayer and he recites the Quran, then an angel draws very near to a person. Very near to a person. And whatever a person recites from his mouth, the angel, he takes it in his mouth. He takes it in his mouth and he takes it to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That he loves to hear the recitation of the Quran. He loves to take it. He loves to carry it. He loves to bear it. They love righteousness. They are righteous themselves and they love righteousness. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us all of His muqarrab servants, those who are righteous and who love righteousness, who are friends of the angels in this world and in the hereafter. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Yes, please. This is with regards to men. Okay, this doesn't mean that the angels don't like the smell of saffron. This is when a man is perfumed with saffron, then the angels don't like that. For a woman, it's okay. And also, they dislike it because saffron is very expensive. And it also has a color to it. So if a man rubs his body with it, I mean, that's first of all a lot of israf, right? A lot of extravagance. Definitely you can use it in cooking. A woman can even apply it on her hair, her body, whatever, if she likes it. But it's not appropriate for men. So tomorrow, inshallah, we will be learning about the revelation that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has sent, the messages that are brought by the angels, because it is only when we follow this revelation, this divine message, that we can draw near to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. One of the companions, he said that you cannot draw close to Allah by anything except that which He has come from Him, through that which has come from Him. So what is it that has come from Him? The Quran. His message. So when you recite that, when you follow that, then you draw close to Allah. So inshallah tomorrow we will learn about the books of Allah.